Once upon a time, there was a young woman named Amy who lived alone in an old countryside house. She was an only child and had always felt a special connection to the supernatural since she was little. However, she could never imagine the terror she was about to face. After the tragic death of her mother in her own bed, the atmosphere in the house changed dramatically. The darkness seemed to intensify and strange noises echoed through the empty corridors. One night, while brushing her teeth, Amy felt a shiver run down her spine. In the mirror's reflection, she saw a vague figure dressed in white pass quickly behind her. Her heart raced, but she tried to convince herself it was just her imagination. However, the feeling of being watched never left her. Her mother, now dwelling in the realm of the deceased, seemed to be haunting the house. Amy started hearing screams at night, coming from the room where the tragedy had occurred. Sometimes even a dark voice called her name, but when she investigated, the room was empty and silent. The nights were the worst. Dancing shadows moved across the walls, and darkness seemed to come alive, engulfing every ray of light. Amy spent sleepless nights, afraid to close her eyes and become a victim of the eerie darkness. Desperate for help, she sought guidance from an experienced paranormal expert. He warned that vengeful spirits might be trapped in the house, feeding on the fear and energy of the living. It was a powerful entity, fueled by grief and pain, that wouldn't rest until everyone in the house was consumed by terror. Amy was caught in a battle against the supernatural. She tried different rituals and amulets to ward off the spirit, but nothing seemed to work. The paranormal activities only increased, leaving her on the brink of madness. On a dark and stormy night, when the moon was hidden behind thick clouds, Amy made a desperate decision. She decided to return to her mother's room and confront the entity directly. Her heart was filled with sadness and courage as she faced the pale and menacing figure. In the dark and silent room, the presence of the spirit intensified. Amy could feel the oppressive energy around her, but she didn't allow herself to retreat. With a trembling voice, she expressed her love and longing for her mother, begging the spirit to find peace and move on. For a moment, everything seemed to get even worse. The air was charged with tension, and the young woman felt the weight of the spectral gaze. Then, unexpectedly, like a gentle breeze, the frightening energy dissipated. The entity was overcome by Amy's love, but before leaving, it let out a deafening and otherworldly scream that echoed through the house. From that night on, Amy found a kind of peace in her home. The sinister presence had gone, leaving behind only the longing for her departed mother. The terror that had dominated her life finally receded, and she could finally rest in peace. However, the experience marked her deeply. She learned that sometimes the supernatural is a terrifying mystery that surpasses our understanding, and that love and courage can be powerful weapons against the terror lurking in the shadows of the night. Nevertheless, she would never forget the shiver that ran down her spine when she heard the terrible scream of the spirit, a sound that would echo in her nightmares for the rest of her life. Do you want more content like this? Then don't waste time. Leave a like if you enjoyed the story, share it with your friends so they can feel the shiver down their spines too, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel to not miss any new chilling tale. Help us spread fear and fun together.